I'm sure that if you write that letter, if you succeed in writing the letter in that spirit, you get the healing, you get the transformation into yourself. As a student of meditation, you know that sitting meditation is not the only way. A walking meditation is not the only way. There are many ways of doing meditation. Sitting at the foot of a plum tree and using a pencil and write down something, that is also meditation. Because you need mindfulness, concentration, and looking deeply. Suppose you sit at the foot of a plum tree and you jot down on a piece of paper the conditions of happiness that are available to you now. You do it because your teacher has asked you to do it, or you do it on your own. I want to know how many conditions of happiness I'm having now. And you sit down and you write. That is a true meditation. You need mindfulness, concentration. Here I can do walking meditation a day, each day, and several times a day. That is one condition of my happiness. Here, the air is fresh enough. You write down these kind of things. And as you jot down one line, you feel happy because you are in touch with one condition of happiness. And you are in touch with the second condition of happiness. And then there will be time when you see that 2 pages of the sheet of paper is not enough. And to write that for whom? You will give it, the sheet of paper, to whom? You don't need to give it to anyone. Maybe you will need it. And every time you read it again, you see that you are a happy person because there are so many conditions of happiness that are available. And you need only to get in touch with them in order to be happy. You don't have to do anything else. The fact is that most of us trample on our happiness, on the conditions of our happiness, and go. We think that we are not happy. We need some more conditions to be happiness, to be happy, and these conditions are to be sought in the future. Most of us do like that. And the practice, the teaching here, is to urge us to come home to the here and the now, and realize that there are so many conditions of happiness that are already available, more than enough for you to be happy. You are reminded by yourself, you are reminded by your Sangha, by your teacher, that the kingdom is here, just enjoy it. So writing that letter is also to touch love, to touch understanding that is in you. The kingdom of God is a place where there is love and understanding. Many people think that the kingdom of God is a place where there is no suffering. Most of people believe so, whether they are in Buddhism, or in Christianity, or in Islam. But to me, I would not like to go to a place where there is no suffering. because I know that such a place cannot exist. Because happiness without suffering is something impossible. It's like left and right. You imagine that the right can exist without the left. It is absurd. Without the left, there can be no right. Happiness and suffering, they inter-are. If one is not there, the other is not there either. If you are not hungry, you cannot feel the joy of having something to eat, right? If you are not cold, you will not feel the happiness of having something warm to wear. In Plum Village, we have a lotus ponds. And we know that lotus cannot be grown without the mud. The mud does not smell good like the lotus flowers. But without the mud, there is no lotus flower. If you are a gardener, you know that the compost is very needed for the flowers, for the vegetable. The manure, the compost. And when you look into a flower, you see the compost, you see the manure. Flowers and garbage, they depend on each other. They inter-are. A flower is to become a piece of garbage in 10 days. If you are a good meditator, and then you could see the compost in the flower now, the garbage in the flower now. If you are lazy, you don't meditate, you wait 10 days, and then the flower becomes garbage. But if you are a good meditator, you don't have to wait. You can see the garbage right now in the flower. And when you look into the heap of garbage as an organic gardener, you can see already the tomatoes, the lettuce. Because you know how to transform the garbage back into flowers. The same thing is true with suffering and happiness. Suffering and happiness, they are both organic. Happiness can turn to be suffering if you don't know how to handle your happiness. Love, if you don't know how to handle your love, it turns into hate. And if you know the art of organic gardening, you can turn suffering back into happiness, hate into love again. It's wonderful that things are organic, happiness and suffering. And that is why if I do not want to go to a place where there is no suffering, because I know that if there is no suffering, there will be no happiness.